la Junior High? ¿A qué universidad? De City White. Pues ya ves que le dije, sí, le dije, mira, te voy a explicar bien a dónde fuimos. Le dije, mira, nosotros no viajábamos mucho, pues sí fuimos a una, mira, te vas allá abajito así, allá para abajo donde está la iglesia, le das allá abajo, y te vas ahí. Y a la izquierda, ahí estaba la universidad. Ay, teacher, no hay nada ahí, puros files. Ahí se llamaba la University of the Melons. ¿Cómo? ¿Por qué? Porque pues, a puro melón a piscar.
En el verano estábamos meloneando todo el tiempo.
A puro fregarle, loco. Ahí
en los tiempos
no hay universidad.
No, era cuando podíamos hacerlo. Ahorita ya nos solamos ahí.
No, ahorita ya es más, ahorita hasta calor está dando ya.
Sí, en la high school me llevaron a la... que era el destalle, la limpia y eso, ¿no? No, gracias, dije.
No, nada de eso.
Te dieron más ganas de estudiar.
¿A ti aquí no?
De hecho, sí.
A mí también.
No, es que sí. Cuando fuimos allá a ASU nos dijeron, pues digo, ¿por qué se graduaron de 32 que fueron? Se graduaron 31. Le dije, pues es muy sencillo. Le dije, ¿qué hay ahí en San Luis? No, pues lo que pasa es que hay un chorro de files y es lo único que hay.
No queremos trabajar ahí.
Entonces ya nomás fuimos, no, mejor nos quedamos aquí a tomar cafecito en la biblioteca y a leer. Y decía, sí, corrígeme aquí.
Y sigue.
Ay, que no, pero sí te ayuda eso.
No, bueno, no, sí te ayuda.
Motivación.
No, sí,
Claro.
sí, muy buena motivación eso.
Que te despertara tu mamá y tú, órale, vámonos al film.
Yo trabajé en el coliflor y una vez me dijo un compa, no sé para qué estudias tanto, tú vas a terminar aquí en el film, me dijo. No, le dije, no creo, eso sí te digo, voy a luchar hasta que salga de ahí. Pero me dijo eso, pues mira, aquí andan varios maestros de San Luis, ingenieros. ¿Para qué estudias tanto? Me dijo.
Canijo,
hombre. Nunca se me olvida eso.
Yo estaba si trabajabas aquí en una tienda en San Luis, Arizona, porque no había nada, y trabajabas en un supermercado, es que ya eras de caché. No sé tú, sí. ya eras, ¿sabes? Y yo trabajé en la Imperial Market. Pero pues porque mi papá conocía al manager ahí. Y mi primer trabajo ahí, pues también trabajé en el field, pero ahí me tocó pues grocery, o sea, poner los productos pues embolsarlos, pues. Y ya no había plástico, había nomás caja o bolsa. Y entonces, pues caja o bolsa, entonces ahí ya dominé, ¿no? Según yo, ya me creía el más sabio para embolsar y luego ya de ahí me cambiaron a donde están todas las latas, que al hacer stacking, ¿no? Que la primera me dio una navajita y corté todos los labels de todas las latas, y se me caían, y le dije yo al Frank, ¿sabes qué? Yo no soy bueno para esto. Oh, Homer, me decían Homer, te vamos a cambiar a la área del papel higiénico y todo eso. Pues me cambiaron allá y tampoco. El primer navajazo, corté los de estos y todo, hice un cochinero. Frank, le dije, yo no soy bueno para esto. Le dije. Y bueno, te voy a cambiar, me tenía mucha fe el vato. Te voy a cambiar allá a hacer produce. No, carnal. A los 3 días que estaba en produce se me pudrió toda la verdura, carnal. Ya le dije, Frank, yo sé que eres buena persona, pero sabes que yo no sirvo para esto. Mejor voy a ir a estudiar, le dije. No, vemos, le dije. Ya regresé, me recibí todo y fui a dar las gracias a él porque le dije, ¿sabes qué? Tú me hiciste, gracias por enseñarme que no era bueno para esto, y por eso me fui. Y gracias a ti, pues logré irme a la universidad y hacer otras cosas, le dije. Gracias porque me abriste los ojos.
¿Cómo se dice? Las armas para que puedan hacer más yo en la high school, ¿no? yo para mí es decirles, ok, mira, los mando de pérdida por mi lado, en matemáticas no le sufran, de pérdida que puedan hacer las cosas, ¿verdad? Porque si yo miraba a mis compañeros y nadie de los que yo tenía en ese tiempo me seguía la onda, ¿verdad? Yo estaba en cálculo con puro ángulo, ¿verdad? Era el único mexicano, y qué tristeza, ¿verdad? Sí. Y siendo la casi mayoría, o hay mucho mexicano en Yuma y en San Luis y en Somerton, para que nomás había uno en cálculo y decía yo, pues ¿dónde están los demás? Y ahora no, ahora creo que más gente, ¿verdad? Clases enteras se han hecho. Pues en GASE teníamos una clase, ¿verdad?, de precálculo entera y luego cálculo después. Y creo que hemos logrado algo con el programa, Mr. Chávez.
My name is Jesus Chavolla. I went to Rio Colorado Elementary School. I'm from San Luis, Arizona, obviously. I went to San Luis Middle School. And then, well, after that, San Luis High School. During middle school, I got enrolled into the CTY program. Well, at least I took the ACT test, and all this was led by Miss Conroy at the time. So for the actual exam at the time, there was no centers here in San Luis, Arizona, so we took the exam at Chavolla High School. And I ended up going to Easton, Pennsylvania, but that was back in 2009. So when I took that class of Principles of Engineering Design, I learned about the basics of like weight, mass, like basic test of like building a bridge with popsicle sticks and just adding weight onto it breaks. That kind of got me into engineering, but at the time I didn't know like what field of engineering to take because there's several fields. That was useful in getting me into the path of going into a university, especially like getting to know more people from other cultures, and because we're used to seeing a lot of Mexicans here, so there's not much diversity in San Luis. But when you go out there, you get a whole new experience. I think that was mainly it.
You took AWC classes while you were in the middle school?
Yes, I took Math 1, what was it, 82, I think, and 122, and then 187, and then I can't recall the exact number of the calculus one, but I also took that one. This was actually the first, we were the first generation in the AWC courses that were given to the Gadsden Elementary School students. And this was back in 2007.
Did those classes, help you when you went to high school?
That helped me get into the advanced level mathematics that were offered at the high school. I actually with the help of this, I was able to take calculus back in my junior year. We took AP Calc, and I ended up passing with a 5, so I got college credits.
If there's something that you can tell students right now that are pursuing an engineering degree, what would you tell them?
For any student that's pursuing an engineering degree, I would say just continue to be persistent. You may be facing a lot of challenges. You may feel that you're not as good as you thought you were, but the key to that is to continue to be persistent and have your goals in mind so that you are able to achieve them. It's just a process. So as long as you continue to work on it, you're gonna reach your goal. And all I have to say, it's like once you get past the school, which is the hardest thing, the actual engineering job, it's not that difficult. So just keep trying.
What do you remember as a San Luis Middle School student back then when you were attending the San Luis Middle School?
Well, Miss Conroy, the counselor, was always there if we needed any help. But this may not be the typical case, I guess, but I felt inspired by Mr. Sanchez. I think he's still teaching, Alfred Sanchez, I think. That's his name. The reason why it's because at times he would question, like, even if we had the correct answers or something for the problems that he would give out, he would still be like, oh, that's not good enough. Like, you need to be able to present the problem, like, analyze what you're trying to explain by giving the solution. He would also ask like a couple, like he would ask for steps on as to what was your thinking process for solving a basic question like what's x and 5x equals 25 or something. So it was the critical thinking that he demanded from us that helped us.
Family is important. Parents, the support that you get from parents. Mm-hmm. How did your parents feel about you leaving San Luis to go and study at a big city?
Well, my parents didn't take it well because I was the youngest. I'm the youngest in my family, so the thought of them like having me go out to college to a whole new city and like 4 hours away, which was in Tucson, they were a little bit hesitant about leaving, giving me permission to leave. But in the end, I was able to get scholarships and a couple student loans to be able to afford that, because that was also something they were worried about, like if I was going to be able to pay the university. But it turned out well in the end.
Who are you currently working with?
I'm currently working with IBM. IBM focuses on the mainframe. Like for anyone that has watched Back to the Future, they mentioned the mainframe in that movie. But the mainframe, it's basically what controls all the debit card transactions. It's used for airplane traffic, monitoring and all that. A couple other things. It's like the main thing below most of the technology that's nowadays, and it's owned by that company, IBM. So I'm currently working there. I started in January. Before that, I was since I graduated back in 2016 from U of A, I went to United Health Group, which is known for the Access program. That's popular. And there I was a software engineer. I was working, coding in Java, basically dealing with all the information that gets put into the system and how it's processed so that you can get your correct charges on your insurance and your medical bills. Then I moved over to modular mining systems. I was working with safety programs at the mine sites, basically adding GPS trackers into the different vehicles at the mine site to prevent accidents from happening, like people getting run over by the big haul trucks, las excavadoras, los troques, los dompes que le dirían. And then I moved over to Raytheon Technologies. For anyone that doesn't know what Raytheon is, they are a government contractor, military defense. They make missiles for the government. I was working with the testing side of the missile, and I also worked on the missile itself. There's several missiles, but I can't mention all that because it's classified. But yeah, I worked there for 3 years and a half, and I finally moved over to IBM, which is where I'm at right now. So in the course of 6 years, almost 6 years, I've had 4 different jobs already as an engineer. Gained a lot of experience, in my opinion. Met a lot of different people, and I think it's one of the advices I got from several people in my first job. Like when they might call it job hopping, but you get a lot of experience and you're able to see like salary increases and all that if you want to. But also if you're not happy with the current job, you just search for anything else. That's okay.
Oh yeah, that was another question. You end up with this beautiful lady.
I already sound like carpool. Sí, en la página esa del carpool. Ahí la conocí.